Okay.
All right. We are back. Great episode of the Just Talk with Sam podcast. Special episode of the Just Talk with Sam podcast. Those with the benefit of who want to see this interview, you can go to our YouTube page and you can see the casting of the Zoom. But I have a very special guest, my man, Brian. You know what? Before we even start this interview, before we even talk about the accolades my man has, I want you to brag about yourself. Where can they find you? Where can they tweet you, email you, hear your podcast, all things Brian? Go ahead, man.
My first brag is going to be this Hawaiian shirt. I didn't know if this was going to be going up on videos. So if you want to check out that YouTube video, I did get dressed up for it. I just didn't comb my hair.
Oh, okay.
If, you can
you
tell.
got headphones on, so it's cool.
It's cool. It's cool. That was a lot of good stuff there at the beginning. I'm honored that you think that, Sam. To be on a podcast that's been going on 11 years, that's an honor for me. I appreciate it. But I'm Brian, the host of the podcast TV Trivia Pod, where I do all TV and movie trivia. It's my favorite part of Jeopardy and trivia bar nights. So I made a podcast dedicated to just that. We're focusing on just The Office right now. But you can follow me on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at TV Trivia Pod. Search TV Trivia Pod in any podcast platform, and it should come up. And it's a good time. You'll hear Sam on it for his, what is it?
I can't remember.
It's your anniversary.
It's coming up, though. It's coming up.
It's your anniversary episode. We'll call it your wedding anniversary episode.
Okay. I love, and that's why I wanted you to get out there. I want people to listen to your podcast. I want to talk to you, the person, but I love it because it combines all the things I like. If you've ever listened to my podcast, for whatever reason, I am not as old as I look. But I have been like rocking with Jeopardy since I was like 7 or 8 years old. And I love that aspect of it. And then it's TV. So when you gave me the invite to join you guys for one time, I was ready because I thought I knew a little bit about The Office. I thought I did, but you'll find out.
Now we proved it.
We'll find out how good I did coming up on your podcast. But one of the things I like about it is because even though right now it's based on The Office, and I watched that show because I really liked The Office. It was great, but
of course,
I only assume that in the next, few seasons, you may have to change shows because you're running out of episodes.
Yes. What was yours on? Yours was on season 8, I guess.
Yeah.
Somewhere in season 8. I got
if you're
one more
Robert,
season to
California, we're coming towards the end here.
Yes, we are.
So one of the things I wanted to ask is, what do you have next in the pipeline? What do you have next in the queue as far as the next show? Is there a poll? And I'm putting my bid in right now. If it's Parks and Rec, I'm on. If it's Scrubs, I'm on. Like there's some stuff. Breaking Bad, I'm so ready.
Right now, Parks and Rec is on my list. I know a lot of people who enjoy The Office are going to enjoy some Parks and Rec trivia as well. Breaking Bad I've considered, but I've made trivia questions for, I was considering Game of Thrones as well. But what I found was that as I'm coming up with these questions, a lot of the trivia just ends up like, oh, who do they bump into the woods here? What is like this person's banner sigil? Something like that. It didn't seem to be, if I were asking these questions, we wouldn't have had as much fun, I think, recording Game of Thrones trivia as we did Office trivia. We had a blast reliving the moments. All that stuff. So I think I'm going to try and stick to more lighthearted stuff.
That's fair. And one more thing. I'm putting my bid in. I don't know how far in the rabbit hole you dug in my podcast. I am a diehard Seinfeld fan. So if you go Seinfeld, I'm signing up for at least 3 episodes, no questions asked. At a moment's notice, I'm ready to roll.
Seinfeld will be coming up eventually. I was actually thinking about doing Harry Potter next, moving on to a little movie trivia, maybe Harry Potter and Marvel, just to switch it up a little.
Marvel, you got me. Let's go. Good.
All right. Yeah. So I was planning on doing Harry Potter first, just because it's going to be 8 episodes. That's 2 months, once and done here.
Right.
Marvel is going to be, I'm going to do the whole way to Endgame. So what's that? 24? Like
out there, yeah.
Like almost 6 months there.
So you're good.
I think I was going to do that next.
And I don't know if you know, a buddy, frequent co-host of the podcast, DK. He's if you listen, he couldn't make it today, but he
had excellent singing voice though. He did that
Reading
Rainbow, right? Oh man.
But he put his bid in. He said, if you got anything Golden Girls, sign them up. Anything. We have a friendly rivalry with our friends at the Act Accordingly podcast. And we have these we've been friends since high school. So we have these crossover shows where we compete to some degree.
Sure.
So he smoked them on Golden Girls trivia, but it's still in the wind. It's still kind of, so he's looking for real competition because this man watches Golden Girls. This grown man watches Golden Girls. I would like to say, and I'm being generous, once a day. I'm being generous. He knocks down one episode, sight unseen.
That's so much Golden Girls.
So he doesn't care about reruns, sight unseen. One episode, one day.
So he, of course, has the DVD set.
Oh my, yeah. Come on, man. That's day one stuff, man. So
just doesn't leave the DVD player.
It doesn't. He catches it on Lifetime. But the cool thing is, some of this stuff he knows backwards and forwards. And he still watches it again like his first time watching it. So the same feeling that you would get, it's you got to see it. Watching him watch the Golden Girls is a show in itself. So he made it very plain. Whenever you're ready, he really wants that Golden Girls trivia.
I'm not quite sure how big the Golden Girls audience would be, but I'm sure I can swing an individual episode sometime and make that work.
I'll run it past him. But Brian, one of the things I love about your podcast is because there is this and as a listener and a contestant, there is this will they, won't they aspect, because everyone goes into your podcast thinking, I know everything. I know this show. And then you'll ask, I don't want to give out too much, but you'll ask easy questions, but they're multiple. You'll ask kind of medium-sized questions and multiple. Then when you get to the hard questions, everyone has this pause where it's just like, oh, yeah. And everyone has it. I'm guilty of it. I had it where they're just, is that something you looking forward to, or is it just something that just always happens? Because I've never seen anyone get to the hard round and is completely confident.
As I'm reading these questions, I try and give the audience a chance to answer them first. So I'll read them first, and then we'll come back and answer them. And this, you were on the show.
Right.
And as I'm reading it, I hear I hear like, oh, maybe it's back there, but it might be a struggle. I'm not as confident during that hard round. So that is fun to see. I definitely want to do the easy, medium, hard thing, because I do want this to be something that everyone can enjoy. I think if you're a fan of the show, you can do the easy round pretty fine.
Yeah.
The way my show is formatted, I only cover a certain 5 episodes at a time. And I'm pretty sure those questions anybody could answer. The medium gets, maybe you have to be a little bigger fan, But the hard questions, I don't know how people get that unless you just watch the show, which
Right.
again is why I give you your episodes ahead of time. Those are some difficult questions.
They are, and they're very like finely tuned where you have to, you as a person who's been there, your brain plays this like mental gymnastics of, no, that could be a thing. That is it. And you go in and out, and then you just kind of like make this decision in your brain. Okay, we're going with this final answer. Hope it works out.
I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now for our match, and you got, I think, three of the five, but one of them was like a multiple point question that was, again, pretty difficult. So, I mean, you came in ready to go.
Whoa. Hold on. We're going a little bit behind the scenes here. You keep stats?
Oh, yeah. While each person goes, I'm keeping numbers next to their answers to keep a score as we go here. So I still have the scores of every single episode I've recorded here on my phone here. And
I'm so
the
ready.
questions you got, the questions you did.
I'm so ready to come back because I want to see how I do in one aspect, then another aspect. I would totally geek out on the stats because it's like, all right, maybe that day I had a big meal, I wasn't paying attention, or maybe I was like, now I didn't know that this. So now you have like to rip off Jeopardy even more. If you want, you can have a tournament of champions, like who are the best of the best. And you can set this up where I love that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I guess I could. Yeah, I have all those stats. Some of those rounds aren't quite, I guess, fair. Some episodes have a few more multiple point questions than others. I think your final question was worth 3 points.
Okay.
Something Dwight said about doctors. We'll leave that for later, I guess.
Okay.
But you killed it in the bonus episodes too. You did really well there.
Please, let's talk about the bonus episodes. Where are they? When can people see those bonus episodes? Because the bonus episode, the gloves were off. Well, I'm giving too much away. Please talk about where they can find them. Talk about this is your thing. Yeah.
All right. The bonus episodes are on Patreon. So for every single episode I do, I ask 20 questions from a certain like season 8 episodes 1 through 5, 20 questions, 8 easy, 7 medium, 5 hard. Any extra questions I make other than those 20 go in the bonus round, which is always at least 10 questions that I ask. And then I put that on my Patreon page. If you just go on Patreon and then search TV Trivia Pod, you should be able to find it. Those episodes come out the very same day as the free episodes. And it's just $2 a month for 4 bonus episodes a month. So I thought that seemed pretty good. 50 cents an episode, not too bad, not much of a commitment. So
of course.
So those episodes are on Patreon. I will say with my podcast too, I love it. I love podcast. I love listening to podcasts. Made me want to start a podcast. You know this. You've been doing this for so long now, over a decade.
Well, the cool thing, and that's why I wanted to ask that question. Like when you get, I'm just Taylor 2 podcast here. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse. I just came from my son's soccer game, and I'm
a little hoarse too. I as a teacher, I haven't talked this much all summer, and it's having an effect.
Well, and speaking of talking a lot, we're both podcasters, and one of the things I love looking at younger podcasters like yourself, mainly because in a weird way, I get old and jaded. So I can do an episode of my podcast in my sleep. I don't want to, but you got to do things that freshens it up. And it's like there's a thing, but with you, there's genuine glee and happiness. And I'm very curious, what do you fuel into that where it's just sort of like, we're all having fun here? Not to say I'm not. I didn't say that, but what I'm saying is you're coming at it with fresh eyes, new ideas. You get a chance to play around, and you have more of an innovative, game show format. So what is it about you that just keeps it going?
Man, I appreciate you saying that, but if anybody's listened to any of your episodes, they know that you keep the energy up as well. I don't get any of the old jaded feeling from listening to you at all. You are so much fun to listen to. You guys are just off the wall, and it's just hysterical every single time.
So one of the things about, like, I was just saying, you can do that. You can get jaded. Knock on wood, we never did. But there are some where I could just kind of like it, and it's a weird thing because I guess I'm a high energy guy. I think there are things in my head like, is he phoning it in? Are you phoning it in? And no, but there is kind of like a weird format where we're looking at it like, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing that again.
Okay.
But in your case, it's so new, and you're gaining more people by the day, because now I'm listening and I find myself, especially with your Instagram posts and stuff like that, is like you'll post one question or something on Instagram, and I find myself doing this. Oh, I know that. And I'm listening to you give the questions, rooting for the contestant, but I was like, come on, man, you gotta step it up, man. You gotta know that. I know that episode. You gotta step your game up. So I'm talking to no one, by the way. I'm in my car listening to you, and I'm rooting for a person. I'm stopping at traffic lights. People think I'm crazy. They're like, oh, maybe he's on Bluetooth. No, he's not. He's yelling at a podcast. So I'm curious, what is it that makes that I guess the newness of it, or where you just feel like, oh my God, this is it. This is pay dirt. Have you had that feeling?
Right. I don't know. I feel like I'm coming into it with the same energy you are. I just enjoy doing this, which you can easily tell listening to your podcast. I'm enjoying this a lot. I love reliving these memories of The Office, which is another thing why I think comedies work really well for this format. At least for me, I love you can picture these things in your head as you ask. If you ask what are the 3 B's Jim says to Dwight when he, steals his identity and comes into the office dressed as Dwight, you can like picture that scene in your head as he says Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. And then Dwight freaking out saying, identity theft is not a joke, Jim. You can see all of that in your head. And that just makes it so much fun to record with and ask questions, and just to hear people struggle, to hear them no, it's on the tip of their tongue, but they can't get it. And, and hence the hints. It's not a super strict trivia podcast,
Right.
I'm okay with giving out hints and helping people on the way here. It's just fun.
Have you ever had a podcast where it was just sort of like, yeah, I'm going to have to help this person a lot because they may or may not have watched those episodes. They got super overconfident. Or have you had that?
I've had that.
Yeah,
I've had that. I've since added that to my email intro. As you know, if you sign up for an episode, I send you an email saying these are your episodes. Here's the recording link, yada, yada, yada. I've now added another thing that says you might want to watch these ahead of time because some of the questions get difficult. I have had people come in thinking that they're ready to go and that they know everything. Usually they're pretty darn good, but there's been 1 or 2 chances, episodes where they were a little overconfident,
okay,
to say the least. It was still fun to record that, they were still having fun with it and doing the best they can, but they did not remember too much there. I think that was an episode of The Boys trivia that we did.
Okay, is something I'm jumping into. I'm a little late to the party. I've watched a few episodes, but the thing about that, and I think I got sidetracked. This is what it is. I'm going to jump back into The Boys. And I say that as I'm not going to watch The Boys after we record this. I'm gonna check out the latest episode of Heels and Billions because I missed last week.
Okay.
And Heels, that show's growing on me. That show is really
I've never heard of Heels. I've heard of Billions.
right. Well, Heels is relatively new. It's his first season. You ever seen
Okay.
Friday Night Lights?
I have not seen that either.
Okay. Think you ever seen Remember the Titans?
Yes.
Cool.
Great movie.
Remember the Titans, make it a series, and replace football with professional wrestling.
Okay. Well, if it's anything like the quality of Remember the Titans, that would be amazing.
There you go. That's why I said that's why. Wait, whoa. Hold on. Friday Night Lights, you've never seen.
I've never seen Friday Night Lights. No, I'm not.
The
I'm not a
movie
big
or the
sport
series.
guy.
Full Hearts. What is it? Clear Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose. Nothing?
Okay. Nothing. It made me think of an office trivia question I can ask you, but
yeah, come on the spot. I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
There was an episode where the whole staff is in the conference room. They watch a movie every Monday, I believe, or an episode of something every day, and then Jan walks in. Michael has asked Pam to make like 8 bags of popcorn for the entire office. What movie do they watch every Monday to help them?
I vaguely remember this. It's not Rudy. It's not Rudy. I think it's a football movie, but it's not Rudy.
A football thing. I haven't seen it, but it's your hint. I can give you a hint here. It's to
get rid of the
Monday. Get rid of the Monday blues.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues is the correct answer.
I knew it was a football movie, but I'm like, it's not Rudy. It's not. I had to think of what is the worst movie you could watch, because Rudy is somewhat inspirational. Remember the Titans. I do remember it was a football movie though. But this is what I mean. Just in that moment where I'm just like, all right, let's go. And you can see the rim going on in my head where I'm just kind of like, okay, we're playing.
The scene. You know the scene. It's just hard to think of the exact detail. Oh man.
Exactly. But that's why I love your show, because I'm not alone in that. Even answering the question, I'm like, wait. Oh, and you gotta like, and I get it why you say it's a good feeling. I charted back where I was watching that in that brief couple seconds there, where I'm like, all right, I'm on my couch, I'm sitting down, it's off, this was happening, and boom. So this is why I love your show. And I'm the Patreon, I guess podcast Patreon split is always a good incentive, because you get the bonus content. And in the bonus content, that's where the gloves are off. That's where you're just kind of like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Because, and I dig how you did that. It was like, oh, since we're paying for it, we're really ripping it now. We're really about to rip it up. It's $2. Yes, my cup of coffee at Starbucks cost more than that this morning, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. So
it definitely has a lot of the questions that I thought, some of the hard questions that I might be too hard. So if you're a super fan of, and just some of the other questions that just didn't make it into the free episode, right. It has everything else.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do today, and I'm glad we accomplished that, I want to talk about your show, TV Trivia Pod, mainly because I love it. It's innovative. You have a brand new fan in me, a guest, and
you're so encouraging, and I really appreciate that coming from an experienced podcaster like yourself. And I'm hitting 1 year next week.
How do you feel? How does it feel at a year?
It's a milestone for me. It's crazy. I read about podcasting stuff. I guess most quit after 10 episodes or even 6 months, and I'm still enjoying it. I want to continue it. I'm hoping to maybe get to your level one day, and everything you say is just so encouraging, and I really appreciate it.
Well, one of the things about my podcast is the cheat code. That's just what it is. Our cheat code is, this whole thing was based on quote unquote adult fun time. You're a teacher, you know.
Mhm.
Kids go, they have play dates. They go out, they hang out, play sports, play video games, whatever. It's a play date. In the adult world, you don't exactly have that. Life happens. You have kids, you have bills, you have responsibilities. And at the genesis of my podcast, I wanted to feel like a kid again. And one of those things of feeling like a kid, we would all meet up wherever, more than likely the porch or wherever, and just talk smack about any and everything that we could. And I was like, what if
just hanging out?
What if we just did that? But we made it a job. See, hey, at 8, you got to come here. You got to sit down. You got to talk smack with people you like. That's
the perfect job.
Yeah. It's the double F rule. That's why our cheat code is called double F. We're either friends, and after a year, we had something. I got an email for a guest. They said, hey, we've been listening. We want to be a part of this. And I'm like, okay, that's what you, and then
this sounds fun to you? Like, this is fun for us, but
we were just like, okay. And then we've had some great guests over years, and we're just kind of like, wait, whoa. That person who really shouldn't be talking to us wants to come in and sit down and hang out with us. Like, one of the people, like, I met childhood heroes doing this. Like, we watched
so cool.
Professional wrestling. A lot of my professional wrestling heroes that I used to stay up and watch just showed up hanging out. Comedians that we love. Hey, we like talking garbage too.
Man.
Okay.
That's so cool.
But I wish that for you, because it's a genuine love. I hear it in your voice. Well, not now, I'm hoarse, but I hear it in your voice. It's a genuine, like, I love what I'm doing. We're having fun. And the door is open to anybody who wants to come in and be a part of the fun. And
you know what? I mean, a lot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. And you're just in season, well, your first series of The Office. Now, I want to give you an idea. I hope that's motivation, but have you ever, and we're just spitballing here, reached out to anyone from The Office to see if they could, just saying,
right?
I don't know.
Wow, that would be an amazing opportunity. I reached out to the Office ladies email. I sent something out not too long ago, but I have not reached out to anybody else at this point.
Let's do this. I have a nice size platform just based on how long I've been here. If you had anything to do with the NBC show The Office, please contact my buddy Brian. Where can they contact you again?
All the platforms at TV Trivia Pod. That's also my email, tvtriviapod@gmail.com.
Just saying, if you get a email from, I don't know, Greg Daniels, who's like, I want to try this out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I want to see what this Brian guy is all about.
That I would be honored. I have a popular Instagram account on the Office Alliance on Instagram,
right?
Who has had interactions with various Office members, and they got me a shout out from Hide, the Japanese warehouse worker, who was the heart surgeon, and comes to America, and it blew me away. Again, just to have this guy said my name, and never had I ever thought that was ever going to happen.
What if I told you That's how it starts. Trust me from experience. That's how it's like. There's this switch that goes off in your brain where it's like, oh, that was such a great feeling. Can I do that again? And then you do. And then so because you're giving out such a good thing, people want to be a part of it. So yeah, shout out from Hide is your first step. And that can turn into whatever. It's up to you. It's your show. Speaking of your show, one more time for the cheap seats. Let them know where you can be found.
TV Trivia Pod at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. tvtriviapod@gmail.com. Type it in and it should show up pretty easy. I don't think that there's any other specifically TV trivia podcasts out there, so it should come up pretty quick.
And I'll make sure I put it on all our social media as well. This has been awesome. I know we had a busy Saturday, but I'm glad we were able to make this work. I want everyone under the sound of my voice to check you out. This has been awesome.
Can I say one other thing too?
Yeah, go ahead.
You keep on talking about how I guess like keep the energy high and things like that, make it fun. And I have to say a big part of that too, doing this podcast, having those play dates as an adult, this whole meeting people over podcasting, talking to people all over the world, doing this I would have never thought possible if the podcast itself hadn't started. And having this opportunity just to meet people and talk to people and share our love of this thing is just been a blast, and it's just so much fun.
And this is what I like about it, because not only does it starts here, it grows from here. Like you can wax poetic about The Office, and we see you. We see it every week. You do it, and it's awesome. And there are other people. All right, bad analogy, but I hope you've seen this movie. You ever seen Kick-Ass, the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Granted, not for kids. Just saying. The whole premise of the first episode, I felt like that as a podcaster. Where remember, he was a superhero, sort of, a wannabe superhero. Mm-hmm. And he was in his head half the movie thinking it was just him. He's not good enough. He's a wannabe. He's not like the real guys. Until he found out there were more people like him. All he had to do is say his thing out loud. So when you say your thing out loud, all these people start jumping in, and he had a community around him. I felt like this with podcasting, and I guess you are now, because you just said your thing out loud. And this goes back. I had a $12 mic from Radio Shack, and I was talking by myself to a wall. That first year was rough, but people dug it. And then you get people like BK jumping in. You get people, and then it becomes like this adult playtime. And then the enthusiasm comes, and then it just builds and builds because we all like this thing. In your world, you just said, hey, I really like The Office, and I want to ask you questions about The Office. And everyone heard that and raised their hand. I know The Office. I would like to answer some of those questions from The Office. That was a big
part of it. It was like, whenever someone says, oh, who was in that scene? Or do you remember that movie with this person where this happened? And just being able to I know that. I like being able to answer that. Like this type of trivia is always something that I'm looking for. It's something that I enjoy doing. So I'm just hoping I can give that to somebody else as well.
Well, you have, and I hope more people get it. One more time, we're closing up shop for real. Brian, for the cheap seats, for the people in the back, everything related, just plug away. Go ahead.
Sam, thank you so much. It was so nice to see you again, to talk to you again. I can't wait to release your episode coming up here soon. Again, I'm Brian from TV Trivia Pod. at TV Trivia Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on Patreon for bonus episodes, just $2 a month. You can find me on all your podcast platforms and just listen to for some trivia.
Brian, it was awesome just having you on. I know it's your first time, but it's not your last time. And trust me, you coming with Scrubs, Seinfeld, Golden Girls, you know we're coming. You know, just
I think I got you for Marvel too, right?
Oh, you have no idea. That's just written in stone at that point. I thought I didn't even have to talk about that. But yes, I'm so ready. The podcast is great. Thanks so much, Brian. And I'll be speaking with you soon, my friend.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Bye.